the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
Hey, Jim, I've got to let you know too. I'm sitting here really comfortably because you inspired me. I'm wearing LuluLemon. I've got the undies on, mate, and I'm feeling well supported and extremely comfortable.
How good are they? I've branched out with me Lululemons. I got a Lululemon store up the road, like a shop that just sells Lululemons. Yeah. And I used to just go the black underwear, but now I've got like orange striped ones.
Oh, no.
Just so you know what day of the week it is. I've gone right for it.
That's a nice idea.
I don't think there's anything less sexy than a patterned brief on a man.
You don't know because Tom...
Yeah, but that's a good thing that I'm married and I have no need to be sexy ever again.
You're sexy, mate. Don't worry about it. Hey, Jim Jefferies, Tommy's still wearing the silk boxer shorts.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the range of Looney Tunes.
The Looney Tunes ones and the Phantom are my favourite. The purple ones with the Phantom on them, you know?
Oh, did you used to do it? Yeah, in the 90s, we all wore silk boxer shorts. We didn't wear the form-fitting ones.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing. There was 2 buttons in the front. Yeah. Like, you couldn't just hitch them down and pull your over the top. The fact that you had to, like, go, I might poke it through this hole, which will make it go slightly sideways.
Easy to stain silk, too.
Well, and they're not... you're throwing the word silk around very generously.
Loosely,
I have a feeling they were 100% synthetic. Polyester, yes.
No, these were sewn by the finest silkworms in all of Asia so that I could look so good.
Yes, they were.
How you been? Where are you at the moment, Jim? What are you doing?
I'm at home in my house. It's raining in LA right now. It's been raining for a couple of weeks, and everyone I know, because the houses are built so crap, roofs are leaking right now because it never rains, so we never know if the construction works out or not. But I'm just sitting around in my house with pots and pans, collecting up water as best they can. You know, lovely. Where are you guys? I assume you're in. What town do you guys come from?
This is called Taylor Swift's town at the moment, which is formerly known as Sydney. And look, it's a great time of the year. Taylor's playing this weekend, and the whole place, Jim, as you would know, has gone mad. It's gone absolutely mad for Taylor Swift. Have you ever done anything with her?
She hasn't asked me to open for a long time.
Well, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Back in the day, I used to come out and tell a few C-word jokes, and Taylor used to love that.
Yeah.
That used to be what she was well up for. But we had look. I think I can say this now because it doesn't matter because she's in a healthy relationship and I'm married. But we dated for a long time.
Oh my God!
This is a fact. This is a fact.
Wow,
yeah, for a long time, longer than she wanted, really. And by the end of it, she knew my name and everything. It was in the court orders. So,
which album is about you then, Jim?
There was a song called "Shake It Off," and it was about how I always left piss on the floor.
In your silk boxer shorts.
In my silk boxers, because I tried to put it through the hole with the button. And she'd say, shake it off, and I'd be like, all right, Taylor.
There's a song in that. You've got me.
And then I'd be like, why? And they're like, why are you shaking your piss off your p***? And I'm like, Taylor made me.
That would have been a weird experience when that song came out.
Oh, my God.
Saying that to your mate. So I think that one's about me, boys.
Jim, any thoughts on, Jess, if you've got the audio there, any thoughts on her new boyfriend, Travis Kelce? I mean, his speech at the Super Bowl was extremely moving.
You gotta fight! I like it. We're going to listen to the speech.
Oh, God, he's very exuberant, isn't he, Jim?
Ah, look. You bash your head into something all the time. Eventually, you'll just sing Viva Las Vegas in the middle of a field. I love those. I saw that movie with Will Smith where they had that doctor who came out and they had to check the footballers' brains.
Yeah.
And they were like this. He goes, I'm starting to think, right, that they had a doctor come in, professor, to go, maybe if you bash your head into things over and over again, there can be some repercussions.
No way.
How is that a 2.5-hour movie?
Oh, wow.
And how can you make that movie and still slap Chris Rock and feel good about yourself?
So true.
If I see Chris Rock walking around mumbling with shaky hands, I'm coming after you, Will.
Oh, Oh, mate.
That is gold. That is gold. All right, let's talk about the 1% Club because it returns 7:30 tonight on Channel 7, Jim. We're very, very excited about this. Season 3, Jim? Is it third season, second season?
It's this. I don't know. We're going to film more episodes in July. So we've got more coming. I think they've got 7 or 8 episodes to give you now. And then we're going to record more. There's no stopping the 1% Club.
Do you know what?
It's a bloody good show. I don't take any credit for the show doing well. It's actually a good program. I'm just lucky enough to be attached to it.
No,
obviously,
you're
I
the
can
man.
hardly speak. I shouldn't be reading questions.
Do you know what, though, Jim? We want you to stick around because we want to have a round of the 1% Club.
Yes.
But just quickly.
I've got some questions here. I'm ready to go.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
It is Jim Jefferies this morning. He has stuck around the 1% Club. It returns 7:30 tonight on Channel 7 and 7+. But, Jim, we would love to get involved. If you've got some questions there, can we be your contestants this morning?
Yeah, Channel 7 has happily given me some questions that aren't on the TV show.
All right.
Now, these questions, what they haven't given me, though, is what percentage they are. This might be a 90. This might be a 1% question.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Let's find out. If you were singing Happy Birthday to someone named Happy, how many times would you sing the word happy? If you were singing Happy Birthday to a person called Happy, how many times would you sing the word happy? You have 30 seconds on the clock. Your time starts now. And I'll do you the same privilege that I do to all the people who are on the TV show. I'll talk at nauseum over the top to make it
5.
really easy for you as you're trying to think.
I'd like to lock in
You
5,
have 15
Jim.
seconds,
It's 5.
10 seconds.
I'm going to say 6,
You're
Jim.
going to go 6. What have I missed one?
Okay, are we logged in?
Yeah.
locked in.
Okay, what do we all got?
5.
I'm at 5.
6.
And the answer is 5.
Oh, damn.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
No,
you.
that's okay.
Happy birthday, dear Happy. Happy birthday to you. 5 happies in there.
Okay, Fitz,
And-
you're
and-
out.
Is that the warm-up round?
No, and these are the type of questions that let us compete with Married at First Sight. This is how hard it's going to be. Channel 7's throwing me up against Married at First Sight. I've got the happy birthday question. Let's hope we all do well.
Okay,
All right,
so
next
here we
one.
go. Next one.
How many times does the letter A appear in the numbers from 1 to 99 when spelt out?
Oh, my God.
How many times does the letter A appear in the numbers from 1 to 99 when spelt out? You have 30 seconds on the clock. I'm going to try to do this one myself because I can't
Once.
see the answers yet.
Which letter
No,
again?
it doesn't. 0.
Yeah, I'll say 0. I was about to
Zero.
say 0. I don't think
That's
A
amazing.
doesn't.
I've never thought
First
of
time
that.
A appears is in 100.
The answer is 0.
Yup,
0.
yup,
You did very well.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
well.
you.
There you go.
Thank you.
You win $10,000 on the side.
wow.
Sorry, mate. I was just on
That's
Married
just
at
how we
First
do the
Sight.
show now. I always like the 1% Club because I can tell the people who are going to drop out really quickly. That's a big thing. If you're ever a contestant on the 1% Club and I speak to you in the first 2 questions, that's because I think you're a moron and I'm not going to be able to speak to you later on.
Because you must judge. The minute you see the audience, you must
No.
go, dummy, smart,
Oh, yeah.
dummy, smart.
You can do the eye test pretty
Yeah.
quick. All right, we got another one. You ready?
Yes.
The beginning of summer, the middle of Christmas, and the end of holidays all has something specific in common. What is it? The beginning of summer, the end of Christmas, and the middle of the middle of Christmas and the end of holidays all have something specific in common. What is it? Geez, I'm good at this.
Yeah, that's a great question.
The middle of summer.
Beginning of summer,
I've got
middle of Christmas, end of holidays.
Yeah, I've got it.
What have they got in common?
The letter,
The letter
S.
S.
No, it's that you return presents to the supermarket because it's the letter S. Well done. You're thinking outside the box there, people. I'm more of an inside the box sort of guy.
Oh,
Well done, Jim.
We're flying here, Jim. We could win this. How much is up for grabs? I'm going to win this.
$100,000.
Bang.
It's
No
a wonderful
way.
show. It's a wonderful show, and we give away so much money. I think last season we gave away like $700,000 or
Wow.
something. We give away more money than Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, who never gave away anything,
No,
did
didn't,
they?
did they?
They made it
bloody-
look that way.
Yeah, and then that guy did Millionaire Hot Seat, the same fella. I've forgotten his
Eddie
name. He owns a
Maguire.
football club.
Yep.
Eddie Maguire. He's just wobbling around asking these questions. Get into him, Eddie. Anyway, we give away more money than Hot Seat. We give away more money than the Chase. The Chase gives away nothing. The Chase is you're lucky if you get fed on the Chase, right? You don't get anything. But the 1% Club, we give away tons of money. But just between me and you, the best place to compete in the 1% Club is Britain, where you win the pound. That's the way to go. You don't want to be doing it in India with the rupee or whatever they've got because their currency's. You don't want to go over there. Australia's not a bad place.
So stay
America's got a good currency to compete in.
Yeah.
But as I said, we give away more than the Chase.
Okay.
Next
All right.
question.
All right.
Get on
Oh,
the show.
wow.
All right, here we go. We got one more.
Here we go.
What number do you get if you multiply all the numbers on a telephone keypad together? What number do you get if you multiply all the numbers on a telephone keypad together? If you're driving in your car, pull over so you can look and count on your fingers. Your time starts now.
It's 0, Jim, because you start with 0. So it's always 0.
I've got to talk to bloody Channel 7. Hey, Channel 7, when you send me 4 questions, don't have 2 of them with the same answer.
Well done, Jim.
When in doubt, the answer's 0. There's 100 grand.
There you go.
The 1% Club returns 7:30 tonight on Channel 7 and 7 Plus. If you're not watching it, get on there because there's plenty of money to win. Jim Jefferies is your host. Love you, Jim. Thanks for coming on, legend.
Thanks for having me on, all. I appreciate it. Love you
Thanks,
guys.
buddy.
Yeah.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How fun's arguing, hey? And having arguments at home.
What are you talking about?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm being a little bit sarcastic around the. Some people love a good fight, don't they? They cannot get enough of it. In fact, they will try.
Niggle and niggle and niggle.
Oh, they will
do you know-
do everything they can to get a fight.
I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know about your parents, but my mum and dad, my gosh, the arguments that they would have would go on for hours.
And that's what I mean, and with no end in sight. Quite often, it's lack of sleep,
Yeah.
irritability, worry about the weekend, worrying about money, all of that kind of thing.
Financial stress is a big one.
Exactly. How do you even know in the end what you're fighting about?
No.
There is no end in sight.
You
and
lose track of it.
Yep.
Here's a technique for you. I mean, it's come from
Yell louder.
yeah, exactly. Leave for 3 days. You know what? Go drinking.
up with an ex.
Go drinking for 3 days and
Everything will be
disappear. Fall off the radar.
Benders are quite beneficial
Oh,
sometimes.
they're so fun,
idea.
aren't
It's a good
they? When
idea.
you're the one at home calling, trying to find
Again.
whether they've
And again.
died.
And again.
Anyway, so this is a bit of fun, and it's not going to fix the big problems. Let's be honest. But if there's just, we're just fighting now, and we really feel like we don't like each other. Austin and Annie are their names, not Annie the dog from
beautiful.
my house.
No.
They are a couple. They're in North Carolina, and they've got this fantastic technique. So when they're kind of arguing and they just can't get to the end of it and they don't know how it's going to be resolved, they've got it. It feels like sorcery, doesn't it? But what they do is they have party hats. And when they know they've reached that point in the argument, but one is not going to apologise to the other, and it's like, can we just eat dinner in peace now? Or do we need to keep being cranky and slamming things in the kitchen? They pop their little hats on.
They put their party hats on.
put their
It's a
break
it's
the
a great
tension.
idea.
Oh, I think it's a great idea because
yeah.
it breaks the
In theory.
rhythm
does.
of the argument. In some ways, they can look at each other and think, okay, I admit, without saying it, I'm wearing a party hat. I know I'm being ridiculous. You might not admit it, but you know you're being ridiculous. Let's just
Fitz,
get on with it now.
If Kate Ritchie's in an argument, Fitz,
Yeah.
do you think she would ever put the party hat on?
This is the thing.
This is not what...
Not
no,
for
no,
1
no.
second.
This is not
Forget
what
about
you-
it. If someone else put the party hat on,
Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
burn it.
No, I don't have to put the party hat on.
Well, here she
I would
goes.
go to the kitchen, I would get the party hat out of the fourth drawer, which is where we keep our party hats, and I'd hand them out to everybody else in the house.
Would you? And not put one on yourself to say that I'm okay with everything?
I'd have
It
a big
is.
hat. I'd have a
You'd
bigger,
have the biggest
bigger
party
hat
hat.
with a feather.
Would you? Off to the races.
Yeah. I'd go to the garage and I'd pull out my hats from all the, that I've worn to Flemington that I don't wear anymore. And seriously, the mice are eating them. You know, you're getting old when the mice are eating your hats.
And you would put on your hat and you would look at that other person as they put their hat on and you would think to yourself, I'm going to take you for everything else except that party hat.
Yeah, Kate would put a fascinator on and then would have a go at her partner for not commenting on how good it looks on it.
I was trying to help. I was trying to save your marriage.
Look at her. Go and put your party hat on. Now she's cracked it. Go and put your party hat on now and see if it works.
Well, that didn't go the way it was planned.
Or do you want to borrow Tommy's fedora this morning, which looks magnificent?
Is it
hard to get headphones on, mate?
Better than my leather cap.
Oh, that's different again. Put that one on, Kate, and see if the argument settles.
You're just so rude. Do you know what? For two people who've never lived with me, you seem to know a lot about me.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Dr. Terry DeBrow, Season 8 of Botched is now streaming on HeyU, and we appreciate your time. What's your affiliation with Australia? You had any Australian patients before, Doctor?
I've had many Australian patients. We have a few on the show this season. By the way, I've never been to Australia. I've never been. I know it's the most beautiful place on the planet. I'm dying to go, but I've just never gotten out there.
What have you heard about botched surgeries out here, or plastic surgeons in general? What's our reputation?
Very, very good. Like all your medical care. I mean, your plastic surgery society is top notch, but I know that you guys have the same issue we have, where a certain high percentage of cosmetic surgery is done by non-board certified surgeons who call themselves cosmetic surgeons, who were like radiologists last week and took a weekend course, and now Monday morning they're cosmetic surgeons. You guys have that issue as well as we do.
Just on that, because we are close to Asia, Doctor, a lot of Australians like to go over to a Thailand or something like that and get cheaper procedures.
Yeah, of course, it's called medical tourism. There are good surgeons all over the world, right? Yep. The problem is most of the time you're going to surgeons who are doing it very inexpensively. You get what you pay for, right? There are certain places, certain countries outside of Australia and the U.S. where they do surgery very well, like hair transplants in Turkey. I'm telling you, top-notch hair transplant surgery.
Wow. There you go, Fitz.
Okay, I'm going to Turkey.
I've got a great mate who's a plastic surgeon here, and what's interesting is when he talks about, he does a lot of boobs, and he talks about when girls come in, often he will identify whether this is something that suits their body or it's a trend. And if it's a trend, then he simply won't do the procedure. And that's got to be one of the most considerate things.
See, your friend is a great plastic surgeon, I can already tell you, because that's the ethical way to do it. I mean, who was the first one who did liposuction? Who was the first one who did a breast augmentation? You have to be a little cuckoo to try a procedure that's brand new. So if there's a trend and it's brand new, do not do it. Let other people do it till it's figured out.
Okay, which are the trends that we're seeing at the moment that you would stay away from? We were even talking the other day about people deciding to have the Jennifer Aniston or the Ariana Grande dimples in. I mean, what else are you seeing that you're thinking, oh, goodness?
So I don't know how big this procedure is in Australia, but the Brazilian buttock lift, which I'm sure you guys know what that is.
Like we had an Australian girl, I think, unfortunately died on the table from a butt lift.
So it's the most fatal procedure. 1 in 3,000 will die. The problem is there's very big, short, wide little blood vessels in the buttock that you can't see, right? So when you put fat in there, how do you know it's not going right into those little blood vessels, which, by the way, those blood vessels are connected to the main blood vessel bringing blood back to the heart called the vena cava. If you take a glob of fat and push it in there by mistake and it goes to your lungs, that's when they don't survive.
Right.
It's just
What's the worst you've seen? I mean, across the range of body treatments you can have.
I think the ones that are the worst is when people have those illegal facial and buttock injections, right? They go to those pumping parties and whoever's doing it went, instead of using medical grade material, they literally, and I'm not exaggerating, okay, they go to a hardware store and get caulking material, right, that looks like silicone, And then unbeknownst to the person, they will inject it in a hotel room. And that's a ticking time bomb because the immune system says this is not good. And it starts rejecting it and putting scar tissue around it. And we see people with masses all over their face and their buttock, and it's a real problem.
Doctor, Ozempic's massive in Australia, but there's a thing that I'm hearing about is Ozempic facelift. So what's an Ozempic facelift?
So there's a thing called Ozempic face, right? Because I'm very into these miracle weight loss drugs, but what's interesting about them, what we're learning is if you take a 1,500 calorie diet and you lose weight with that, but you take the same exact calorie diet and you add Ozempic to it, you're going to lose weight faster. So it's going to make your skin even looser than it would with a regular diet. So it's making the laxity change a lot more dramatic. So you're getting Ozempic face. So what we're seeing as a result of that, very thin people coming in a lot younger for faceless. Because traditionally you think of a face of 50, 60, 70. We're seeing 30-something-year-olds coming in for faceless now. But having said that, these are great drugs for people who need to lose significant amounts of weight. They do have side effects. Don't get them off the internet. Get them from a physician under a physician supervision, and they are very effective.
Okay.
I've got a question for you before you go. Whipper, stand up for a second. You can see, there he is.
He's our botched.
Yeah. What can you, he's had some awful plastic surgery done. Which is the botched part on...
Take your top off for the doc. Show him your left breast.
No, okay, look.
I'm going to be very honest with you. Looking at his situation, it's a scalpel, not a magic wand, okay? So there's just so much that you can do.
God.
I'm
That's
obviously
my joke.
kidding. The guy's a surfer. You surf, right?
Yeah,
he looks
big
like
time.
he's super fit.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's
on.
out on the floor.
He looks awesome. This guy looks
No,
awesome.
come on. If you had 20 grand, you got 20 grand to spend, Australian dollars, where is it best spent?
20 grand for him, we call that a deposit.
Hey,
Doc, we could speak to you all day. Season 8 of Botch. We are really looking forward to this. It's now streaming. Appreciate your time. We know how busy you are, Doctor. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's
thanks,
fun.
mate. Take care.
See you, buddy.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.